What's up, guys? It is Corey from SuperKamiGuru9000, and the epic battle of Naruto and Killer Bee versus Itachi and Nagato begins in my review of Naruto Shippuden, episode 298. This episode could have been so much better than it actually was. Now, that's not to say that it was a terrible episode, it's just that I felt that the action in this one should have really been given a lot of special attention. And this is actually the first time I'm actually starting to slightly resent the Chikara arc, only for the fact that God, I wish they'd have put that time and effort into this animation and everything, because I remember specifically reading this chapter in the manga, and I loved it. It was one of my favorite chapters of the war at the time when it came out and everything. I was so pumped up while reading it, and I remember reading it at the time. Man, I really hope they put a lot of attention to this when they get to the anime. And, you know, I was also kind of hoping that they would add some more filler fights to this because, let's face it, Itachi and Nagato, they have a lot of really cool abilities, and I don't even care if they just make the characters sort of do taijutsu the entire time. But, you know, the action is really only the half of this episode, and it really takes place mostly in the first half. We get to see that Naruto and Killer Bee just run right into Nagato and Itachi, and they start to have a little conversation, then Kabuto takes over, and boom, it's fighting from there. And, you know, it's pretty exciting, especially the part where Naruto is actually fighting against Itachi for a very short period of time. They do a lot of taijutsu moves, which are pretty cool looking. I just wish they were animated a little bit better. Action doesn't really dominate this episode so much as a lot of cool revelations come into place. In the second half, we finally get to learn what the fuck that crow was that was shoved down Naruto's throat, and apparently it was some sort of failsafe for Itachi that he was actually supposed to use against Sasuke. And the long and short of it is, a crow comes out of Naruto, and it has Shisui Uchiha's eye, who apparently had this really, really crazy ability where he could pretty much make anybody do anything. And Itachi goes on to explain that they had this elaborate plan where he was able to get his eye. The other eye was stolen by Danzo, of course, and he implanted it into this crow. And it has this genjutsu. When you look into it, or, you know, if you have the Sharingan and you look into it, it'll be protect the Konoha village. And Itachi did this so he's able to actually get away from the Edo Tensei technique, which means Kabuto can't control him anymore, which means Itachi is a freaking immortal zombie just running around, and he's one of the most powerful characters in the series. Really speaks volumes. You know, we've always known that he's been super mega powerful before, but this is just nuts. Itachi had actually planned for Sasuke to see this if it ever happened, and it would make sense too, because it would only activate upon seeing Itachi's eyes, and seeing as how Sasuke used Itachi's eyes and planted in his, it all makes sense. It's actually more confusing in the manga, and it made a little more sense here, so I do appreciate that. Nagato this week, I thought he was really cool. He kind of got blindsided a little bit by the fact that Itachi's like the god of the ninja world, but he still got to show off a little bit. You know, he got to use his summoning abilities, and at the end he really started tearing shit apart, especially when Killer Bee was attacking him, and he was able to absorb some of his chakra and actually get his red hair and abilities back, and then he just starts going crazy, attacking Naruto, ripping his soul out. It's just pretty crazy towards the end. Killer Bee, he's actually pretty cool this week. He's able to actually fend off against Itachi really well, and I just think that's awesome because Killer Bee is one of my favorite characters, and I just, you know, always remember the episode where he kicked Sasuke's ass, so it kind of reminded me of that a little bit. There were some other little moments I skimmed over, but that's for you guys to check out. But like I said, this wasn't a horrible episode. Maybe I set my expectations just a little too high, and that's a problem when you read the manga before you watch the anime. The story was good, especially in the second half. We finally get to learn the revelation about that weird crow and how its abilities work. And I just think it's really cool to see Naruto interact with Itachi. And like me and Christian said when we reviewed this in the manga, it's kind of funny. It almost seems like Itachi is the brother of Naruto that Sasuke never had. It's just Sasuke keeps getting shit on. It's just kind of funny in a weird kind of way. But still, it looks like next week's episode is going to have a lot more action, so you guys should definitely check this one out. So I'm just going to drop an 8 out of 10 on this one. It wasn't perfect, like I said. I'd wish the animation was a little crazier, and I kind of wish they would have added a little bit more to the fight. But it is what it is. It was still a pretty entertaining episode in its own right. So 8 out of 10, check it out, guys. It was pretty cool. So how did you guys feel about the confrontation between 4 of the most strongest characters in this week's episode of Naruto? You can let me know in your comments below. Remember, guys, as always, hit that like button down below and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps them out a lot. That concludes this review today. SuperKamiGuru9000, out.